Every so often the literary world is rocked by the discovery of a work that was thought to be lost forever. Take, for instance, Percy Bysshe Shelley's Poetical Essay on the Existing State of Things. The work, published in 1811, was attributed to the author in 1872, 50 years after he had died, and rediscovered in 2006. But there are many books that remain lost to this day, much to the sadness of readers everywhere. Here are 11 of the most tragic literary losses, excluding, of course, the countless texts which have been wiped from the record so thoroughly that there is no evidence they ever existed. There are two versions of the story about what happened to Robert Louis Stevenson's first draft of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1886, but both end in fire. While suffering from what may have been tuberculosis and taking cocaine, which at that time was prescribed as medicine, Stevenson supposedly wrote the draft of the novella in just 3 days. When his wife Fanny read it, she said that he had missed the allegory, causing Stevenson to toss the pages into the fire. He then frantically rewrote the manuscript in another 3 days. Or so goes the version told by his stepson Lloyd Osborne. The alternative story is that Fanny herself burned the draft. It was, she wrote in a letter to a friend, a choir full of utter nonsense, declaring, "I shall burn it after I show it to you." Regardless of who was responsible for casting the pages into the flames, Stevenson's initial take on his now iconic car. 2. Meanderings of Memory Nightlark. In 2013, Oxford English Dictionary chief bibliographer Veronica Hurst was verifying the entry for Revirginize when she encountered a problem. She couldn't locate a copy of the book that the word was cited as coming from. Meanderings of Memory, 1852, written under the pseudonym Nightlark, is the earliest known source of 51 words, but other than an entry in a bookseller's catalogue, the OED had no leads on the mysterious book. The dictionary put out a public appeal in a bid to find a copy. The handwriting on the original submission slip was subsequently identified by OED editor Peter Gilliver as that of Edward Peacock, an antiquarian who lived in Lincolnshire. A member of the public also turned up another reference to the book in a Sotheby's catalogue from 1854. Hurst, who believes the book is likely a poetry collection, told the Los Angeles Times that one theory is that it could be pornographic, or in some ways a clandestine publication that didn't get recorded in the normal way. So far, no copy of Nightlark's book has been found. 3. Double exposure. Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia Plath had been working on a semi-autobiographical novel about a woman whose husband is unfaithful. First titled The Interminable Loaf, then Double Take, and finally Double Exposure. The novel was inherited, along with the rest of her estate, by her husband Ted Hughes, from whom she had separated in 1962. What happened to it next is unclear. In the preface to Plath's posthumously published Johnny Panic and the Bible of Dreams, 1977, Hughes wrote that she had typed some 130 pages, but that the manuscript disappeared somewhere around 1970. But in a 1995 interview with the Paris Review, he told a different story. Her mother said she saw a whole novel, but I never knew about it. What I was aware of was 60, 70 pages which disappeared. And to tell you the truth, I always assumed her mother took them all. These differing stories, coupled with the fact that Hughes had previously copped to destroying one of Plath's notebooks because I did not want her children to have to read it, raised suspicions that he may have also disposed of Double Exposure. While there is a chance that Double Exposure will be discovered one day, as sections of her earlier novel Falcon Yard were, that manuscript was burned by Plath herself, the possibility that nothing remains to be discovered also exists. 4. Yondel Encyclopedia. Since 2007, Wikipedia has been the largest encyclopedia ever compiled. The previous holder of this record was the Yondel Encyclopedia, completed in 1408. The Yondel Emperor of the Ming Dynasty employed 2,169 scholars to collect knowledge from all over China, encompassing subjects like history, geography, astronomy, and philosophy. The project amounted to 11,095 volumes. The Jiajing Emperor, fearing the loss of the Yondel Encyclopedia, commissioned a copy that was completed in 1567, at the beginning of the reign of the Long King Emperor. The original work was lost soon afterwards, exactly how isn't known. But the copy survived largely intact until 1860, when British and French soldiers were ordered to sack the old Summer Palace in Beijing during the Second Opium War, leading to many of the volumes being stolen or burned. The volumes continued to dwindle over the years, and now only about 3.5%, less than 400 volumes, of the encyclopedia remain. Although volumes are occasionally found, the volumes continued to dwindle over the years, and now only about 3.5%, less than 400 volumes, of the encyclopedia remain. Although volumes are occasionally found, such as the one discovered at the Huntington Library in California in 2014, it's highly unlikely that substantial portions of it will ever be recovered. 5. Terry Pratchett's unfinished works. Fantasy author Terry Pratchett, best known for his Discworld series, requested that his unfinished works be destroyed when he died. As fellow author Neil Gaiman recounted, Pratchett told him that he wanted whatever he was working on at the time of his death to be taken out along with his computers, to be put in the middle of a road and for a steamroller to steamroll over them all. And that's exactly what happened in 2017. 2 years after his death, during the Great Dorset Steam Fair that year, an antique steamroller was used to crush Pratchett's hard drive. Rob Wilkins, Pratchett's long-term assistant and business manager, told BBC Breakfast that he had been working on 10 titles I know of and fragments from many other bits and pieces.